Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So, today I will be talking about the Kentucky governor race, which is, as of now, happening tomorrow on November 7th. Now, this is the most important state that is up for election in the 2023, I guess you can say, midterms. Now, this is a very important race, and this is the most looked at race out of all the main races where most people are looking at. If we look at the Mississippi governor election, if we look at the Pennsylvania Supreme Court election, if we look at the Virginia legislator elections, this race out of all of them is the most important and most looked at. Now, it's against incumbent governor Andy Beshear going against Attorney General of Kentucky Daniel Cameron. Now, this is going to be a very interesting race, and this is a very interesting thing to talk about. So you might be wondering, just how the hell did Andy Beshear even become the incumbent governor? How did he win? Well, let's roll back to 2019. So Andy Beshear narrowly defeated Matt Bevin in the 2019 special election. And there was many reasons. Donald Trump was president then, and typically in these off-year and midterm elections, they didn't defend the opposite party. Now, we did see that to some extent in 2020, but not generally to the degree of 2010 or 2014 for the Republicans facing off against Joe Biden. However, there is still that effect. And that effect is a large reason why Andy Beshear is governor of Kentucky right now. Matt Bevin was incredibly unpopular, and he pissed off the entire education department within the state. It was not good for him, and they still somehow almost barely lost. Given the high Democratic turnout, it didn't really look too good for his reelection hopes. However, he has positioned himself as a pretty good campaigner, talking about his accomplishments of the past 4 years and everything else in between then. Which brings us to what we are now in 2023 and facing off against Trump endorsee Daniel Cameron. Now, Daniel Cameron doesn't really have as much coherent campaign. He is probably going to rely a lot on Trump for this campaign. And if he wins it, it's probably me because of the recent Trump endorsement. Well, depending on the margin, if he wins it. So let's go down to the recent polls. So as of now, a lot of these political opponents have rated it as lean Democrat to toss up. Now, this is a very interesting ranking. And I say that for many reasons. I have no idea. I can't really say for certain if I have someone who's favorable right now. Well, I can say that for at least Andy Beshear since he's the incumbent. Because if we look at recent polls, things weren't doing too good for Cameron at first, but things have substantially got better for him. Where in the latest poll by reliable Emerson College, they're tied with a 4% undecided. And to help Daniel Cameron out, he did win a majority of or all of the undecided votes in the primary. Now, primary elections and general elections, they're very different things. But if we were to apply that, then Daniel Cameron would actually win. But that's not really the rhetoric I'm going for. Now, this is a fundamentally important race. And if we look at the precinct data, compared to 2019 to 2023, Republicans are actually doing about 6 points better in this election, or at least substantially better in the early voting and voting turnout than they did in the previous ones. Now, it is important to note that out of all the mail-in ballots, about most of them are Democrat, pretty substantially too. Now, does this necessarily mean it's over for Cameron? No. I think majority of his voters are going to get out and vote tomorrow and in person, as a majority of Republican voters do. Now, I can't say for certain whether or not this is going to decide the election, this early voting or not. And it should be voted by Michael Person on Twitter that, Republicans have done better. Democrats have closed the gap a little bit compared to the voting turnout swings, but it's still a fundamental thing to take account to. So now that we've got this all established, let's head over to my final prediction. All right, my final prediction for the 2023 midterms. So obviously Louisiana has already elected incumbent Governor Landry as their new governor, which leaves Kentucky and Mississippi. I think there's no chance Matt Reeves loses. I mean, say what you will, Brandon Presley, he doesn't really have that big of a shot. Could it happen? I guess, but There's no big chance of it. Now, I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a very thin margin, but Andy Bashir will narrowly hold on. And I say this for many reasons. Incumbents don't typically lose their re-election bid. Andy Bashir is fairly popular with the people of Kentucky, and while he is pretty liberal, that hasn't really stopped his popularity. Now, of course, Daniel Cameron can still win this. There's no chance that he doesn't have a chance at all. However, it must be taken into account that, this isn't a favorable election to him. I mean, if Republicans don't step it up in the in-day person voting and he doesn't win some specific counties, then he really has no chance. So if you are in Kentucky, I do encourage you to get out and vote and just support the person you want to win. But it could go either way, but I'm putting this as tilt Democratic for now. I think Andy Bashir will either win by 2 points to 0.1. And there's there's a decent enough chance Cameron does pull off an upset, but as of now, my final prediction is that at the end of tomorrow's night or Wednesday morning, we can see a Andy Bashir victory. Well, I hope you guys like this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Leave your opinions down in the comments. Let's see what you think. Of course, if there's anything else you want to tell me about this race I should account for, please go ahead. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. See you all next time.